Yeah, it is a big game for both teams, but it's the new era at Everton for Sean Dyche. What do you think of this appointment, Jermaine?
I think it's a great appointment. Sean Dyche is an amazing manager, and he's been in similar situations to this one that Everton find themselves in now. So if anybody's going to get him out of this situation, it's going to be him. You know, he worked wonders at Burnley with a very tight budget, with a small squad. He knows how to galvanise the squad. He knows how to get the fan base back on side as well and get them all fighting for the same thing. You know, he brings that honesty, he brings unity to the football club, and that's exactly what he's going to aim to achieve here at Everton.
Yeah, he's got one job to do, and that is keep Everton in the Premier League this season. The question really is, what will the fans be expecting to see in this first game? Because it's not exactly an easy one. They're facing the leaders of the Premier League.
Or the second one.
No game's easy, really, is it? But your first match in charge, when the team are playing the way they are, Glenn, up against the Premier League leaders who have every point to win and don't want to drop a single point this season. Well, what do the fans want to see?
No, they'll want to see the team given, like the style that Dyche has. He wants his players to give 120%. 100% is not enough. You know, to die for your club, to die for the shirt. And that's what he'll get, and he'll get that in the first game. I mean, it's come at a bad time, actually, for Arsenal. Not Everton so much. I think it's a little bit of a freebie for Everton. You know, they've been losing games anyway. They've gone through manager after manager. I think he's looking at it. I think he's got a 2-year contract.
18 months.
Yeah, 18 months, not even 2 years. So he knows he's on trial again himself. It's no good giving him a 5-year contract because he knows what's going to happen, because it's a pattern what's happened to Everton. But I think this first game, it's a bit of a freebie for him. He's gone in there and I can imagine in the training, he's made them train really hard. He's saying, this is what it's going to be like with me. You give me everything, you've got a chance of being in that team. And I think for this one-off game against Arsenal, Goodison was becoming negative. The negative energy that was there and the vibe was touching the players and touching the team. As much as the players will try and prepare and the manager would have prepared with Frank, this now, every Everton fan, whether they think that Sean Dyche is right for the club at the moment, but come 3 o'clock, when that whistle goes, that energy now will be a positive energy, and they'll be behind the team. And I think the key thing is if they don't concede to Arsenal early, it could be a tough day for Arsenal. But in saying that, Arsenal are playing so well, they could go there and have an easy... If they score early, I think they'll win the game. It's
12:30 tomorrow, but I'll let you off.
What did I say?
3 o'clock. It's fine,
3 o'clock. Kick-off time.
You'll be done by then.
Kick-off time.
Everton are second bottom of the Premier League table. They are in the heat of a relegation battle, and you know what it's like to play for this club, to wear the shirt, to be in that stadium with those home fans on your back as well. How demanding are they?
They demand nothing but 100% from their players, and that's a given. You know, the fans there want you to work as hard as you can, and if you get beat by the better team on the day, but you've given your all, they'll applaud you off the pitch because they know you've tried your best. But if you're not trying your hardest and you're letting players run past you, or you're not giving it your all, you'll get sussed out very quickly, and you know, so the only way to win them back is by putting in that effort. And that's all they demand from the players that are on the field. But obviously, the problems at Goodison are far deeper than just the 11 players that are on the pitch at that one time.
Yeah, there are other issues that will obviously want to be resolved at the club, Glenn. But in terms of the players that Sean Dyche has to work with now, is this a squad that can stay in the Premier League? Do they have the quality there?
Yes, they can stay in there. And I think that's what he'll demand from the players. Listen, there's still a long way to go here. You know, they're, 4 points, are they, off Leeds, who are 15th? That is a league within itself down there. They've got some... all the games, you know, we can put as... Look, it's Arsenal, Liverpool League. They're tough games, all of them. At the moment, every game, doesn't matter who you're playing in the Premier League, for Everton is a tough game. But you've got to cast your mind back to Newcastle. Newcastle were down in the bottom 3. And everyone was going, oh, Newcastle will go down this year. They're going to drop. And the place, the energy was poor, like it is at the moment with the fans, with Everton fans. And look what happened. Look where they are now. OK, a new owner come in, but before that, Eddie Howe went there, improved players. Sean Dyche knows he's got to improve the players that he's got there. They didn't buy anyone in the window, which mentally for the fans would have been dreadful. But now there's a new emphasis, there's a new manager. And as I said earlier, they might not all agree that Dyche is the right one for them, but come that kick-off time and get behind the team And Goodison can be transformed. It's a wonderful place to play. You played there. As an opponent, it's a tough place to play when they're playing well. I played in the 80s when they had a great team. But it's the other way around as well. It can be a negative vibe, which it has been. So they've got plenty of points on the board to go for. It's only, 18 games they've still got to play. Anything can happen. Newcastle, they've already done it. So they're going to say to themselves, come on, we can do this. And that's what they've got to do.
And Glenn's already alluded to it, Jermaine. For Arsenal, this is probably not the best time for them to play Everton when you've got your potential new manager bounce and maybe a bit of an uplift at the club. But Arsenal are playing with so much confidence at the moment. They're in the reverse of what Everton are at the moment, playing with smiles on their faces, aren't they? Can you see this going any other way than an Arsenal win?
Exactly what Glenn said there. If Arsenal come out of the blocks and get the early goal, do exactly as they've been doing every single game, the manager's trying to galvanise that squad. And everybody in that club knows that the positions are up for grabs. So they're going to do their best possible to try and make sure they cement their place in that team as a regular starter.
Yes.
So it's going to be a tough game.
Since their last match, I think all of the talk, the most high-profile January signing story was Arsenal's attempt to sign Moises Caicedo from Brighton, Glenn. They didn't get their man. They ended up with Jorginho from Chelsea instead. Will they be happy with that in the end?
I think as a second choice, I think, different style of player completely. But you know what? I got a sneaky feeling this could be what just Arsenal need, an experienced player that's won things. Arsenal have had a really fabulous start this half of the season. Because of the World Cup as well, we're not as late down the season as we think we are normally when we're in February. There's still a lot more games than normal to play. And I think when they do hit a little bit of the buffers, and they will, they're bound to hit a couple of games where they might, City might beat them for twice.
The Invincibles didn't.
Yeah, but I don't think this team can go all the way without losing the game. But at the end of the day, when they do, Jorginho is perfect. Perfect with the experience that he's got. If he has to come on for 20 minutes and calm a game down to win the game, to get them over the line, he's perfect. He can hit passes, he keeps the ball, and he's got that experience. And the youngsters will look up to him, and he'll lead by example in that dressing room and on the pitch. So in the end, it's not just his footballing ability and a short-term sort of 6 months. He's going to have a massive contribution to that squad. So I think it's a really shrewd buy. It really is. 5
points clear of Manchester City going into the weekend. Are they still your Premier League winners at this point?
No, you can't say they're winners. This is a Grand National. And if your horse is at the front of the Grand National and it's still got one more lap to go, and you've got all them fences to jump, which the Premier League, every game's a fence, and you can get hit at the top of the fence and you can your jockey can fall off. They deserve to be top of the league. They've been brilliant this year. They've been the best team so far. But it's when they hit a little wobble, which every team does, can they respond to it? Because those youngsters haven't been in that scenario before.